Hi everyone! So this week we spent a bit more time on characters. Primarily that meant spending more time with active and passive voice. I covered active and passive voice in the video last week, but I wanted to just say a little bit more about it. First, let's review what active and passive voice are. To do that, let's break down sentences into three parts: the agent, or the character doing the thing, the action, or the thing that's being done, and the goal. In the sentence, I baked a cake, the agent is I, the action is baked, and the goal is a cake. In the sentence, the cake was baked by me, the agent, action, and goal are all still the same. They're just in different parts of the sentence. The agent is me, the action is was baked, and the goal is the cake. Which sentence is active and which is passive? Well, the active sentence is the one where the actor is the grammatical subject of the sentence. Remember, according to your book, the grammatical subject is the thing that agrees with the verb in number. Not a super helpful definition, but it's the most precise one. One sort of trick to telling whether a sentence is in passive voice is to see if the sentence has a by phrase or could have a by phrase in it. This doesn't always work, but it often works. So in the example we just used, we could really quickly identify the sentence with by me as passive. Let's take a few examples. Some people argue that atmospheric carbon dioxide does not elevate global temperature. Is there a by phrase in this sentence? No. So it might not be passive, it might be active. What's the verb? Argue. Okay, who's doing the arguing? Some people. Is some people in the grammatical subject position? It agrees with the verb argue in number, so yes. As a side note, what does it mean for a subject to agree with a verb in number? Well, that's a reference to verb conjugations. If you've ever taken a foreign language class, you're likely to run across verb conjugations. In English, verbs can be conjugated according to a number of pronouns, and other words, of course. The pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. You can also conjugate some verbs according to the expletive pronoun their, or it, which we'll get to in a second. So in English, to argue is conjugated argue when used with the names of groups or with singular first-person pronouns, singular second-person pronouns, and plural first, second, and third-person pronouns. So we say, I argue, you argue, we argue, they argue. But we conjugate it as argues with the singular third-person pronouns he, she, and it, and the names of individual people. So Dr. Clayson argues, or she argues, or he argues, or it argues. Okay, back to passive voice. Let's take another example. There has been speculation by educators about the role of the family in improving educational achievement. First, let's look for a by phrase. I found one. By educators. So, is this sentence passive? Well, the verb phrase is has been, and the subject is there. It's an expletive pronoun, meaning it fills the subject position because grammatically we need to have a grammatical subject, but it's not really referring back to anything specific. It just kind of fills in. So is there doing the action in this sentence? No. The action isn't even in the verb in this sentence, so that makes it a double whammy. The verb is has been, but the action is hidden in the nominalization speculation. The action is to speculate. So yes, this sentence is passive. All right. Parts 2 and 3 were based on your own fields and your own writing, so I won't respond to them here. Be sure to email me if you'd like to revise the editing exercise or if you have more questions.